Greetings. I am Reverend James DeBoer at Tree of Life Faith Community. Today I'm continuing to explore the three major forces at play in America today of empire, ethnarchy, and mutuality, and the focus is going to be on the many ways that empire in particular bullies people. Empire, as I've discussed in my other messages, is a system of worldwide capital headquartered in the United States that seeks to preserve and expand the wealth of the richest people by exploiting some people more or less directly while turning the rest of us into consumers so that we're too focused on what we buy or how we look to care much about anything else. The reality is, unless you are in the 1%, empire is bullying you into buying things you don't need, or buying more expensive options than are necessary, or paying more to be the first in your group to have something. That is how empire works, and it's virtually impossible to live independent from its influence. Then there are the people empire bullies through exploitation. Workers who aren't paid right, or their conditions are dangerous or disrespectful, or they get fired when they try to do anything about it. Small suppliers in industries dominated by big retailers who insist on lower and lower price points each year to remain on their list of eligible vendors, when being dropped from that list means bankruptcy for the suppliers. The empire's exploitation extends to the many medium-income shareholders whose life savings get swept away every 10 to 15 years in clever financial hijinks that always leave the 1% better off than they were. And the empire bullies everyone in the US and the rest of the world whose natural resources like water, land, energy, clean air, oil, minerals get taken from them in the interest of creating more things to sell. There is another group bullied by empire, and that's everyone who is unemployed but would work if they could. If you don't think much about it, you might find it strange to say they are being bullied. Who exactly is bullying them? It might seem more like everyone else has just forgotten them, and that's absolutely what life feels like when you're unemployed. But the truth is, it's long been the intentional design of empire that, however little its workers get paid, there are some people who aren't getting paid anything at all. That way, low-paid workers look around and realize they have a lot to lose. And management can always fire people they don't like and keep wages down because there is a reserve of desperate people who will take whatever job offer they can. Keeping a certain portion of the population unemployed is the official policy of the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is just following a legal directive passed by Congress, signed into law in 1946. That law established inflation as a bigger concern than employment, and companies, in exchange for not jacking up prices too much, could always count on a reserve of unemployed people to help keep wages low and workers in line. So, if you are unemployed or have been unemployed, it's not because of anything you did, it's not because you're not good enough or smart enough or hardworking enough, it's because the empire has determined that at any given time, approximately 4% of America's workforce, 1 in 20 workers, should be sidelined, and then that 4%, you, we, are blamed as though it's a personal failing, instead of a deliberate, heartless policy, even worse than cruel and unusual punishment. At long last, the moral bankruptcy of this entire system is becoming clear for everyone to perceive. Peel back the window dressing, push past the lies that there can be no alternatives, and disregard once and for all the many shallow justifications, and you will find that at the core it's what it's always been: wealthy people squeezing everyone else in a frantic scramble to become even richer. In 2025, the question is not what's going on, but how are we going to respond to it? Peace and perseverance to you. Amen.